I wanted to know one thing out of curiosity. The fluency with which you speak, right? And the accent and your choice of words, everything. Um, did you speak like this even when you were in school and college? Or is this a skill that you acquired later in life? If yes, then how did you do it? I want you to spill the beans in today's class. So nice to meet you, Ravish. How are you?
I'm good. You tell me, how are you? How is Saturday treating you so far?
It's just a lazy day, but no complaints. So far, things have been good. So, yeah, no complaints at all. So, tell me about your weekend plans. Are you planning to watch any movie? I've seen a lot of amazing releases this weekend. So, are you planning to catch up on that?
I would certainly like to, catch up those movies if it is there. But before that, I would like to tell you that this morning when I woke up, yeah, there's good thing happening in India. There's a lot of delegates who've already arrived, right? Probably delegates from 20 countries, and
Right.
and fortunately, that's happening in India. It's really a proud moment for us, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
And we are so excited that going forward we'll have one more country added to it in the list, right? That's African Union. So that's all happening in India, right? And we must be proud of it. um,
So true.
so so I'm really excited and looking forward to it. There'll be a lot of deals, there'll be a lot of agendas discussed in the
Yes.
meeting. So maybe
Absolutely.
that'll be turning out to be a positive thing for India. Hopefully it should turn out to be something incredible for Indian economy. So let's pray for that. Yeah.
Undoubtedly, even I feel like topics like food security, debt problems, climate actions, I think these have to be treated on a priority basis. And I think the G20 summit is a great chance for all of us to collaborate and tackle these things. So even I've been following all the preparations for the G20 summit very closely, and I was really
Wow.
excited that this time India is the host, right? So, yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah. So I think at the end of the day, I will definitely, go on YouTube and just see what are the updates, what are the recent updates, what conclusions have been drawn. So I'm very, very thrilled to look into this.
Absolutely. Every Indian should be proud of it, and every Indian should look forward to it. So,
Yes.
since we're doing a lot of accomplishments these days, like going to moon landing, our satellite to moon, and then doing so many other things in
Yeah.
the future and recent future. So everything is happening in India's favor. So one should really be excited and proud, for things that are happening in our favor.
So true. I think this is a really fortunate phase for India. I think this year 2023 has been really kind to us, whether it's in the field of medicine, technology, or now sociology. I think we are leaving a very strong imprint in every domain. And I feel like the youth should take inspiration and try to contribute even more and try to see a future in these aspects so that they can take our country to a different level in the upcoming years. So, yeah.
Yes, absolutely, indeed, 100%.
So, since we did talk about the moon expedition, the Chandrayaan, um, I noticed some really strange things. Like, of course, as Indians, we were really proud, but we did not really get the kind of response that we were expecting from the West. I felt like it was a bit borderline jealous. That's what I felt when I was reading the headlines on a lot
Right.
of major publications, Western publications. So, what do you feel about it?
Absolutely. If anything that is happening in India, or probably we are so-called poor country, right?
Yeah,
And
right.
there are a lot of population and percentage they still live below a poverty line. This is what is the impression, what Western countries uh, again have for India. So anything, any accomplishments, any achievements that we do towards human, in favor of humankind or for our own development, they have a hard time to digest it, right? You must have seen
Yes.
one a correspondent asking questions on BBC, right, platform, wherein they were asking that, okay, we are giving you aid, right? You being so poor country, now you are on moon, so return back all our aids that we are giving you
Absolutely.
every
This
year.
was the headline that made me think about or look at this situation in a different perspective. Like, there was no sense of satisfaction or pride from these countries. It was just jealous. That's what I felt. That was the
Yeah, absolutely. And had Americans or probably any Western countries did this, they would have probably highlighted it on a different level, right? They would have talked about probably for hours and days. But since that happened in India, we being a
correct.
poor country for them, they're
Yes,
not able to digest if we are doing something incredible. And
absolutely.
similarly, same thing is happening with China, I think. China not being the part of our G20 summit. And then Russia is, we understand, why Russia has not, uh, they've not been able to come to G20. They have not been able to be a
Of
part of
course,
it.
there's a strong
That we can
reason behind that,
understand,
and I think we need
strong
to
reason
accept
behind
that.
it.
Yeah.
Correct. But if I
Yeah.
talk about China particularly, I don't know what's
Mhm.
going on in their mind, what's going on in their political, arena. Nobody knows what's going on in their in their diplomatic policies or affairs. But that's
Correct.
very clear that if the rest of the people are interested to coming to India,
Mhm.
why not China? But let's see how things unfold. We'll have something probably clear picture maybe in the near future about China, especially. I think. What do you think? I
Absolutely.
mean, do you have any clarity why they've not been a part of it? What's going on
Not
there?
really,
When it
not
comes to
really.
China?
I'm not really clear about it. Of course, verbally, I don't think there have been any harsh things or harsh statements. So I don't want to judge anybody on the basis of assumptions. I'm hopeful for a better future, but also curious to see how things pan out between India and China. I think right now we are walking on very tight ropes, so we should be very careful and just
Absolutely.
see how things go pan out in the future, right? So yeah,
And
cool.
let's celebrate. Forget about China for a moment. Let's celebrate.
So true.
The other people who are coming in India
Correct.
for such kind of summits, and it's happening on a larger scale, for very first time.
Yes.
And I think
Yes.
we are experiencing a lot of change within the state, within the country, within Delhi, especially, right? So
Yes.
we must go and support and be proud of what is happening. I think, yeah,
Correct. I think, as I told you, that I was following the preparations really closely, and I think India has put its best foot forward, whether it's about welcoming the guests or all the preparations that they've done. I think it's going to show India in a very different light and a very positive light. So, yeah,
right, right.
that's it. Okay. So
But the
great.
only one thing that concerns me most is that why Western media is not covering that. I also checked out
Exactly.
on YouTube. Al Jazeera is them, one of those channels where they always talk negative about India, right? About Indian uh, media, about the things that are happening in India.
Correct.
The BBC World have different notion about India. Why they do not talk about, why they do not promote our economy, why they do not promote our well-beings or probably our achievements. That's something which I never ever be able to understand them. I don't know, but let's see. I mean, their perception would definitely change, and like we said, we like you mentioned that we are putting our best foot forward. I think
Yes.
we being the global guru, or I think India being a guru, I think maybe there are a lot of things that will be unfolding in near future, and you never know will be the number one economy in the world, and we are on the verge of it. So let's
Great.
pray and let's work towards it. And the way India is progressing, I see really a great thing coming up for us.
Same here. Even I feel like we'll be closing the year 2023 on a good note. Yeah.
Yes, yes, absolutely correct.
I think a
Uh,
lot of foreign media channels, they love to push some stereotypes related to India and Indians. I think it's become so ingrained in them that even though the reality is there in front of them, it's difficult for them to accept it because
exactly
they can monetize a lot more by pushing all of these old stereotypes, right? So I
correct.
think that's the main motive.
Absolutely. And there are so many companies, big companies like Tesla, the big companies, Google, or probably
Yeah.
Facebook. There are so many other companies, big names that are all ready to invest in India. India being the great market for them to explore the opportunities, right? And they're ready uh, to go ahead with the policies that we have. right? Foreign policies. And I think earlier China was experiencing the same. China being dominant nowadays,
Yeah.
hard time to gel up with other countries, right? They are trying
Right.
to show their supremacy in probably almost all sectors. And
Yes.
I think if I talk about US, they are probably scared of China now, so they are supporting us like anything. That maybe ever since the Russia has come across, Russia is supporting China. It's it's a great threat for USA now, and then they've already realized that there's no big player. There's nobody who can fight except India. If anything big happens between two countries like India and China, right?
Yes.
So they're I think wholeheartedly supporting us, and maybe that'll end up supporting in our favor. And the kind of deals that are happening between India and United States, that's
Yes.
something which one should look forward to it. Yeah.
Correct. So this is one observation that I've made. Every time a country starts getting powerful, more and more powerful, not countries, instead of
Yeah.
coexisting peacefully, I feel we all try to assert our dominance instead of just
Right.
coexisting. Right?
Exactly.
And from there, conflicts are born. That's what I feel.
That's true. I mean,
Yes.
yeah, the fight is again for supremacy, and everybody wants to
Yes.
be a supreme leader. They wanted to evolve as a supreme leader. Nobody wanted to
Correct.
uh, see themselves below anybody, right? And this
Right.
fight is for supremacy, be it at any front. If I talk about again the army, and then the arms and ammunitions, the economy, and the affluency, probably all many sectors, everybody is delving deep, right? And always
So
they
true.
always wanted to they always wanted to be at number one, and the fight is for them. And there are so many
Correct.
big countries. Again, India being number fifth now. He'll also
And
trying
slowly
is also
scaling its
trying
way upward, that too. It's scaling
correct
even more and more. Right.
more and more and becoming a superpower. Right. So yeah, there are multiple countries who already have their supremacy. They always do not like that India should go forward, and India should develop, and probably on any sectors. So they feel
Yes.
jealous about it, and
Yes.
yeah, that's how things are happening. I think
Yes.
on national
So I
front.
think as Indians, we need to be very strong when it comes to supporting our country, when it comes to having our country's back. I think we should be really proud and show that pride across social media and all the platforms, to support our scientists, to support our doctors, our politicians, our government in any aspect that we can.
Correct.
And I feel
Correct.
like power is something that's very intoxicating. I feel like once you taste power, it's very hard to just give it to somebody else. Like you want all of it just for yourself, right? So
Right.
that's what's happening with most countries. Now that they've tasted power, they would not want another country to dethrone them. So yeah,
Absolutely.
and yeah, that's true. Okay, great. Fine. And I think I remember I remember really well that you had a brilliant accent, a great voice, and I think with time you've gotten even better. So, are you still working in the domain of being a voiceover artist? Are you lending your voice to projects, or are you working on something different?
Megha, I'll tell you, yes, I am still striving, being a voiceover artist. I'm getting
That's
projects as
amazing.
well. But the only thing is that I get rejections as well on lot many fronts. Why? Because, I have a bit of accent, and most of them wanted me to speak in Indian accent.
The
Even I
stereotypical
try.
Indian accent?
Yes. So
Oh.
on that, yeah. So I'm also marked, and I have to be honest with you because I'm working on them. I have to be true to you since you asked this question to me. So I am also being marked down on my accent, on my little bit of pronunciation here and there. They wanted that to be entirely, in Indian. So I am kind of struggling there, but I
Mm-hmm.
still I'm working on it. I'm trying to sharpen that, hone that skills, and hopefully I should be able to brush it up maybe in a coming future. So that's what is happening.
Okay.
As far as voiceover is concerned. Yeah. Yeah, right.
Okay, well, if it makes your day any better, let me share this with you. I feel like a lot of people would kill to speak the way that you do. So
Oh my God.
that's one thing for sure.
Thank you so
Right.
much. Thank you so much. Yeah, it really made
Most
my
welcome.
day when you say like that. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Okay, I feel like every industry has its own set of requirements. Maybe if you don't fit the bill for a few of them, I'm sure there are many others who would love to have you. Right. So maybe you
Correct.
can try testing some different waters and see how it pans out. So yeah, all the best.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you.
Most
Okay.
welcome.
What's going on? How's things at your end? Okay. You are an English Yaari. Yeah. I can sense that you've been taking a lot of classes on different platforms altogether. So
Right
how's
now,
things
yes.
at your end?
Okay, yeah, things are going pretty well. Of course, it's like a roller coaster. Um, Constantly, it's like I'm on a roller coaster, but right now I'm trying to restrict the number of platforms that I'm working on. I would love to give a lot of my time and energy to one rather than many. So that's my focus. And I've also started creating some video lessons for some organizations, for some Olympiads, etc., which I feel has
Wow.
been one of my milestones this year, like lending
Okay.
over my teaching skills to Olympiad. So yeah, excited to see what else this year has in store for me.
Awesome. I mean, is it already uploaded on YouTube
Not really,
or
not really. Those things are not meant for YouTube. Those are actually courses that you can find on certain platforms itself.
I see.
So I'm working on that. And Olympiads, of course, it will not be on YouTube. It will be distributed across schools and colleges, for students to study.
That's a milestone, certainly.
Yeah,
And I hope that you keep doing the way that you're going now, and
thanks a
all the
lot.
best.
Thank you so much. I strongly believe that when somebody wishes you from with with pure intentions, those blessings stick onto you and you end up doing a lot of good things. So
Yeah,
yeah, thank you
yeah.
so much for your best wishes.
Correct. I remember, people were dying to talk to you on YouTube when I was, when I think if I talk about the other platforms, right, wherein people were looking for you, to talk to you, right, and they were hardly finding slots. So I remember those days. So the way that you teach people or, train people, that leaves a lot of impact, right? And people love listening to you, love, the way you're training to others. So that is something great. I must
Thank
say
you
that.
so much. Like I have goosebumps. I wish I could I know express it even better, but every time someone gives me a compliment, I think this is one of the situations where I really don't know what to say. I'm at a loss for words. So thanks a lot, Ravish. And when these kind of compliments come from people like you who are so advanced in the craft of speaking good English, I think it feels very surreal. Yeah, I have to be like, okay, Megha, okay, calm down, calm down,
No,
come
no, no, no.
back to reality. So I feel like
Yeah,
that.
that's all I'm saying by my experience, and yeah, that's what's happening actually. So I've said I've not sugarcoated anything. What I'm saying is, which I'm seeing it, right? So
Thanks a lot.
so all the best, and
Thank you.
keep doing.
Yes, thank you so much. And you are somebody who has, I think, quite rich experience in your field. And I wanted to know one thing out of curiosity, the fluency with which you speak, right? And the accent and your choice of words, everything. Um, did you speak like this even when you were in school and college? Or is this a skill that you acquired later in life? If yes, then how did you do it? I want you to spill the beans in today's class.
Sure. I'll tell you. I remember those days when I was in school, and I was barely able to speak in English. I
Really?
remember. Yes.
Oh,
So I was able to comprehend things.
mhm,
Whatever teachers were saying, I was able to grasp them. But
mhm,
when it comes to speaking, I had really hard time. And then I realized that okay, this is not the way things should shape up. Because
mhm,
if this is my weakness, I can probably get advantage of it, right? I should get
mhm,
out of it and make
mhm.
this as my positive thing, right? As an
Yes.
advantage. So then I tried a lot of different ways where I
Okay.
tried working on my vocabulary.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, I used to jot down, I used to read newspapers regularly. Talk about any
Okay.
newspaper that
Mm-hmm.
right from Express, right from the Hindu,
Mm-hmm.
Times of India, the Sun Times, and probably anything, English paper, particularly I'm talking about. I used to jot them down. I used to read, those editorials. I used to find difficult words, and then jot them down and revise every time. If I forget it, maybe I used to I use them in making sentences that have all. I remember I've been doing that consciously, right? I've been putting efforts on all of those. So whatever you see me, all that's because of the kind of practice that I've done,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm still working on it. I still find any difficult word. I go on to Google and then find it out and use them. And if I really find a hard word which I'm
Yeah.
ha- which I'm having difficult time pronouncing those words, I still
Yeah.
try and make it correct, right? So that's all
Right.
I'm doing still,
Mm-hmm.
and I do not consider myself fluent. I'm since there's always a scope of improvement.
You're
So
being
I'm
too
pretty sure.
modest. You're one of the most fluent speakers. Sorry to interrupt, but yeah, please continue. You're being too modest here. Okay.
All right. So, like I said, so I hope I was able to answer your question.
I mean, seriously, what an inspiration. If somebody speaks to you for the first time, they would definitely feel like you've had the best education when you were in school, and probably you were trained by native speakers of English, but your journey is really inspiring. I think many people can look up to you. So tell me, uh, what helps a person achieve English fluency faster? Of course, other than speaking, should they make reading an everyday habit, or listening to English content, or writing down English, journaling and things like that? What will help them become a fluent speaker faster?
I think out of all those, the more you speak, the better it is for you, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I understand the people who wanted to get into this English speaking. They have a hard
Correct.
time understanding the grammar, right? Grammar is
Yeah.
something which probably people are making a lot of mistakes, especially with the grammars.
Indeed.
And then you're putting your conscious effort in order to correct yourself every time you make mistakes. So then second thing that comes is writing. Again, writing is not something which is everyone's cup of tea.
Yeah.
You keep writing and then you're making mistakes. You're trying to incorporate certain things which are not your forte, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even there also you are feeling yourself uncomfortable. And
Correct.
then the best of all that comes to my mind is that the more you speak, you hear more.
Yeah.
It is that you are probably getting closer towards speaking and becoming fluent.
Correct.
So overall, what I would say is that I think one can become fluent with the amount of hours that you are putting into practice, and
Yes.
that's the only reason, that's the only way that you can probably get yourself becoming towards a fluent speaker. Yeah, this is what I
Absolutely.
think.
Yes. It's very important to dedicate a good number of hours for English practice, but also the quality of your study also matters. Like, if you give yourself 3 hours every day, are you attentive in all those 3 hours, or are you just attentive for half an hour and the rest 2.5 hours you're just whiling it away? So you need to
Correct.
have quality and quantity, and to be successful in any skill, at any skill, you need to be a little obsessed about it, at least for a brief period of time, till you achieve a grasp on the concepts. You have to have that little bit of obsession. Otherwise, I think it's tough to learn or acquire any skill. That's what I feel.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Perfect. Great. So before the session ends, one last question. Um what is the role of healthy habits in a successful career and life? Is it important to have healthy habits like waking up early, making your bed, cleaning your surroundings? Do they have any role to play when it comes to success in career and life?
Yes, absolutely. Like you said, like going to bed early and waking up early, you know,
Mhm.
and being respectful to elders also, teachers
Yeah.
and friends.
Mhm.
That teaches you to be that teaches you discipline, right? And that's also very, very important for I think to become successful.
Mhm.
If you want to earn big, if you want to do something really big, you have to be
Yeah.
disciplined, and
Yes.
good habits can always help you do that.
Correct.
And I understand, bad habits are something that probably it's easy to catch, right? It's easy to
Yes.
imbibe. but sticking to the good habits every day, disciplined, and then getting your balls rolled out for you is the key again. And
Yeah.
I think, sure, if you are consistent towards it, if you are having good habits, that can definitely uh, bring miracles to your life, and it'll help you become successful, maybe at any front. I think is what I think.
Wonderful.
What's your take? What's your take? How do you take this question?
Yes, I think it's very important. If we start our day on a good note, I think that will reflect in everything else that you do throughout the day. If you set an alarm for 6 a.m. and then if you end up waking up at 10 a.m., you will be disappointed in yourself, and the whole day will, be spent on that note itself. So I think discipline, dedication, cleanliness, taking care of small habits, and making yourself better come a long way when it comes to achieving success in your career and life. So, if your personal life is sorted, if you have good habits, it will surely reflect in the work that you do. That discipline, that
Absolutely.
dedication, that perfection, it'll reflect in everything that you do. So, that's what I feel. And what feedback shall I give you? You're a maestro when it comes to speaking in English.
Oh my
Really
God.
hope that you inspire more people to learn this beautiful language and to get better and maybe achieve the level of fluency that you are at. So yeah, all the best. My best wishes to whatever that you do in the future. Okay,
Thank you, Megha. Thank you. It really
you're
made
most
my
welcome.
day.
Yeah,
And I'm really excited and looking forward to more sessions with you.
well,
So,
looking forward to that too.
yeah. So,
Okay, okay,
I
then on
think
that note,
we are
I would like
coming towards the end of the session, right?
yes, I would like to take your leave, and I hope you have a splendid weekend. I'll see you in the next session. Take care. Bye bye.
Yeah. Bye for now. Thank you.